What's up, guys? My name is Lucas Mall, and today I'm going to be showing you guys how beginners are earning $3,000 to $10,000 a month on Airbnb without having to buy property. This is through a method called rental arbitrage, and today I'm going to give you a step-by-step training and really just make this as valuable for you as possible. So buckle up and let's get right into it. So, first things first, why can you even trust me, this process and the whole entire thing, right? So, over the past 3.5 years, I've generated over $1.8 million in bookings on VRBO, on Airbnb, and Booking.com. Basically every short term booking platform that we can think of, right? So, thousands of bookings, reviews, and actual real world reps. So this training is going to show you exactly how we do this in 4 phases and how we get these Airbnbs up and running without having to buy these properties. I'm going to show you how to do it exactly like my students Ruben and Brian. Ruben, who has made $5,800 a month on average with his one Airbnb, and even students like Brian, who have gotten close to $6,000 to $8,000 in a month on Airbnb alone. That's not even counting VRBO and Booking.com. So let's get right into the phases. It is a simple 4 phase process. Phase number 1, LLC and funding. Phase 2 is market research. Phase 3 is getting the landlord to say yes. And phase 4 is launching and scaling the business. So the first phase is very simple, just getting the legal stuff set up behind the scenes. And the way we do this is by going to a simple website called busy.com, which is where you can file an LLC with your state, and they will do all the work for you, right? So when we are able to do this, you go to irs.gov and you apply for an EIN, which will enable you to open up a business bank account. With that business bank account, now you can apply for business credit cards. And the business credit cards that we like to apply for, and our students through our funding brokers and our connections, we like to apply for the Business Blue Cash Card from Amex and the Inc. Business Cash from Chase. And the reason why is because these cards are 0% interest for the first 12 months. And that first 12 months allows us to spend that money on furniture and other expenses for the Airbnb without having to pay any extra interest. So this is super powerful so that you don't have to have like all the cash up front in order for you to start this business. Of course, in our mentorship, we're able to get students approved for higher limits on these cards because of our connections to the bank relationship managers in these institutions. But you can also just go ahead and apply for these cards online on your own. Next up is where we get into market research. So phase 2, after your business bank account set up, your LLC, you're ready to go, you have the funding. This is where the money is actually made. And if you skip this step, you're not going to find success in this business. Location is everything when it comes to an Airbnb business. An average unit in a great location will win. Even if the unit is a mansion and it looks amazing and the house looks beautiful, but it's in a crappy location, you're not going to make money with it on Airbnb. Our goal is to target submarkets 10 to 30 minutes outside major cities, right? So we don't want to look at Miami, at Atlanta, at these major cities because one, they're already super saturated and their competition there is going to beat you every single time because they've been there for a decade. But number two, the rent there is too expensive anyway, and you're not going to really profit that much. What we want to do with this method is we want to aim to be 10 to 30 minutes out so that the rent is cheaper than the actual hotspot, but it's close enough to those areas where the guest is getting a good price and you're getting a good price on rent, which means it's a win-win and you're going to profit on that unit. It's close enough to the city where it's still convenient for the guests to go and stay at that place if they want to go to those major cities. They're just getting a better price on the actual place they're staying because it's not in the middle of everything. Some things that you want to look for when you're actually looking for an Airbnb unit and what you want to turn into an Airbnb, because the location matters, is hospitals, universities, and business convention centers. The reason we want to do this, guys, is because we don't want to just target tourism. Tourism is very seasonal, and we want to target markets that have people coming in and out all year round so that our revenue and our cash flow can stay consistent throughout the year. Now, when we're finding the right property, we want to aim for properties that are 2 to 5 bedrooms. We don't want to go for 1 bedrooms because they suck. And the reason they suck is because you're competing with hotel rooms. If a couple is going to stay or needs to stay in a place, they're going to compete with the Airbnbs and the hotels. Hotels can offer rooms, but Airbnbs offer bigger spaces for families. So if you have 2, 3, 4, 5 bedrooms, a huge living room, a huge backyard, maybe a pool, you're going to be able to compete with the hotels because who wants to book a bunch of hotel rooms for their big family when they just can book a whole Airbnb so everyone could stay together? It's a no-brainer, right? So you want to keep that in mind when you're looking for places. And when you're looking for places, the websites that I like to use, very common ones, are Zillow.com, but also really underrated Facebook Marketplace. Facebook Marketplace has a variety of landlords on there, and it's not as many real estate agents on there as there is on Zillow. When you're able to speak to the landlords directly, your approval rate is going to skyrocket. And that's what we'll get into after in phase 3. Now, all this is very important, and obviously, it's going to help you in making a better choice, but you need to make sure you run numbers and run the competition before you get into a property or get into any type of lease. And the way that we do this is through a website called airdna.co. This website right here is going to tell you the estimated revenue that you could make on the property based on all the other properties in that geographical area around the address that you're picking on Zillow, right? So it compares all of the availability, what they're charging per night all year round, and is going to spit out a projected revenue per year. So if the rent on the property you're looking at is about $4,000 a month, and AirDNA says you're going to make $8,000 a month, you can sure as bet your ass that you're going to be able to profit a decent chunk of money every single month on that property, or at least on an annual basis, right? So we want to aim for a projected revenue of at least 2 times the rent so that you're able to get a good starting point for how much you're going to make. Obviously, these numbers aren't exact, and there's no way to predict exactly how much you're going to make. A lot of the factors depend on your pictures, how well you manage the unit, and etc. But it's a good benchmark. And what we like to do here is if you want to double check this number, you can literally search up this address on Airbnb.com and get real live data for how much the property is going to make. Multiple listings in the area that you can look at, how much they're charging, what their availability looks like. And that's how we make sure a unit is going to profit before we even get into touring the property and inspecting it. So getting into the part that everybody has questions about, how do I get the landlord to say yes to this? How do I get the landlord to give me permission to put their house on Airbnb? And we have a proven framework for this. We use proven scripts that always work with these landlords, and it's all about the way you frame it. You can't just get on the phone, call these landlords up and be like, hey, I'd like to do Airbnb at 123 Apple Street in your house. Can you do that for me? They're going to hang up on your face, right? So you need to position yourself as a company, as a legit entity. And what I like to do is position ourselves as a professional hospitality management company, right? We're not just some random tenant just trying to sublease their house. And there's a simple framework that we use when we're doing this. It starts off with an email or a message if you're on Facebook Marketplace. And you can simply just say, hey, Mr. Landlord, we are interested in signing a long-term lease. Our company is interested in signing a long-term lease with you. Would you be open to discussing how that would work? At that point, they already understand, all right, this isn't a regular tenant. There's a company that wants to rent out my place. Okay, let's see what this guy's about. And at that point, you pitch to get on a phone call so that you can explain the business. This is what you want to do. You want to show the landlord how this is beneficial for them, not just about you. And at the end of the day, these landlords, they're just people. All they care about is getting their rent on time, making sure that their property's in good hands and not going to be destroyed by random people, and making sure that parties and headaches aren't going to happen. They want to make sure that the property is going to be streamlined for them and they don't have to worry about a headache or people and cops being called and things like that. You want to make sure that They know that you're going to take care of their property. You're going to have smart locks that change codes every single time. You're going to have short-term rental insurance. You're going to have your Ring doorbell cameras, and you're going to vet the guests before they check in. You're going to make sure they have good reviews. You're going to make sure you know why they're even coming to the area in the first place so that you don't have these problems with the landlord. And it's all about them. It's all about what's going to benefit them. You're just there to pay the rent on time, run your business, and make sure their property is taken care of. And that's how you have to target these conversations. So after you get your first yes, you tour the property, it checks out, it looks good. You run your little inspection to make sure that nothing's broken and the property is actually looking like the pictures they posted. This is where you actually launch, automate, and scale. Okay. This is where we set up the interior design, we budget your furniture, and make sure you're not spending too much on the furniture. This is a mistake that I made in the beginning. You want to make sure you're spending $1,000 per room. So if the house in total has 5 rooms, including the bedrooms, including the living room, the bathroom, you're going to only spend $5,000 max on the furniture. Do not go over that budget because that is going to affect your cash flow and the return on investment time for the unit. A good tool that we can use to actually help us with the interior design if you don't have a natural talent for it is you can go to ChatGPT, put pictures of the house empty, and they will literally give you an interior design plan so that you can just copy and paste it or just get some ideas from it so that you can furnish it nicely. After you furnish it, you're going to want to take the professional pictures. So hire a professional photographer. Please don't take iPhone pics. That's not that's not going to cut it in 2026, guys. iPhone pics will not work for an Airbnb listing. And make sure that those pictures will come out nice with a wide lens angle. And this is exactly what I'm talking about here. When I mean wide lens, you're able to capture the whole entire room, right? So after we have the pictures set up, we put it on Airbnb, we put it on booking.com and VRBO, making sure that we maximize our views on the listing. This is where we set up the pricing according to what those AirDNA numbers were saying. We also want to make sure that you're always competing with the other Airbnbs in the area, right? If someone's charging $300 a night, try to charge $290 and see if you can underprice them, right? If your place looks better, you're going to get booked anyway. So it's all about having standout amenities as well. Pool tables, ping pong tables, arcade games, just things that make the space look bigger, nicer, or something that, maybe kids could use, like games. It's all about creating an experience, okay? So after you set your pricing, you can set up your discounts, last minute discounts. This is all done through the Airbnb app. So I'm not going to go too deep into that because you worry about that once you get your listing. But the most important part is that you want to set up your automated messages so you're not stuck on your phone all day, and you want to delegate and create a team in the local area. You want to hire your cleaners, hire your handyman, and you can do that through apps like Turno and Thumbtack. Thumbtack is where you can find your handyman. Turno is where you can find your cleaners. And these cleaners have good reviews. Make sure they have good reviews. Make sure they have past cleanings that you can reference, and definitely review and vet them out before you hire a cleaner. But this is where you build your team, and they're going to be the backbone so that you can automate this business and actually have location freedom and time freedom and not be worried about going to the property all the time. Super important. Some common beginner mistakes that I see are picking a market based on hype. Like I was saying earlier, Miami, Orlando, these markets are based on hype and not actual data. If you look at the data, if you look how much people are making, it is not worth you investing in those areas. The rent is way too high, it's too saturated, and you should have invested back in 2012, right? A second thing is signing a deal before running the numbers. Do not pick a nice looking property just off of the aesthetic and think that's going to do well. Just like I said earlier, you need to run your numbers. Another thing is sounding unprofessional when talking to these landlords, right? You can't just call a landlord up and be like, hey man, can I just run your property as an Airbnb? That's not going to work. You need a system. You need to DM them. You need to email them, get them on a phone call, build rapport, build trust, show them how professional you are and how seriously you take this business, and show them that this is beneficial to them. Without this system, you're not going to get a yes from a landlord. Another thing is taking a mediocre deal out of desperation. This is something that I did in the very beginning. I was trying to get a yes. And as soon as I got a yes, I was about to go for it and make sure that it happened as soon as possible because I didn't want to lose it. Luckily, I didn't take that deal because that deal ended up being a bad one looking back on it. And the only reason I didn't even take it is because I couldn't even afford it at the time. So thank God. But you don't want to take the desperation deals because that is going to make you lose a lot of money, right? Take only the deals that are quality and really think about it before you actually sign that lease. No automation equals living on your phone. Please, please, please hire a cleaner. Do not do this yourself. Even if you are unemployed, I don't care. Do not do this yourself. Your cleanings are, if you're not a professional cleaner, you don't have that experience, you're going to risk getting a bad review if the cleaning is not on point every single time. This is also a mistake that we did in the beginning. We wanted to save money and do it ourselves, and we ended up getting bad reviews because of it, right? But after 3.5 years, I can understand now it is just not worth saving the money. Now, guys, that is basically the whole entire process in a nutshell. Now, you're either one of two people if you're watching this video. Person A, you just want more content, you want more information, and you want to just do this yourself and give it a shot because you feel like you can. And if that's you, you can continue watching my content. I keep posting on Instagram and YouTube, so feel free to keep watching my content, and there's no problems there. But there's person B. Now, if you're person B, you're someone that wants to make this happen and is serious about actually making a change in your life and starting this business so that you can see all the fruits of it, the passive income, the location freedom, being able to make money online, not stuck to a desk, not stuck to clocking in, and you want to actually make that change, but you're a smart person. You just want that one-on-one support, making sure that you're doing the right things all the time. If you're person B, then I want you to DM me, BNB, and I'll actually get on a call with you and actually just walk you through a personalized plan and roadmap to see how we can get you from zero, starting from scratch, to actually running, launching, and making money with Airbnb. Now, please only DM me BNB if you're actually serious about making that change and getting on a call and seeing if this is even a good fit for you, right? I work very closely with my students and I want to make sure that each student gets that tailored support according to whatever your schedule is, according to whatever your life even looks like. So please only DM me BNB if you are serious about making that change. And you can DM me BNB on Instagram and I will get back to you. You'll get the proven scripts, you'll get the frameworks, you'll get all the systems, but more importantly, you're going to have my one-on-one support. You're going to have access to my portfolio. You're going to be able to text me when you need and actually solve your problems in real time, and also get on one-on-one calls whenever you need to actually help you get this business started. So if you want that extra support, if you want help implementing all this information, then DM me BNB. Without making this video too long, I hope that I was able to make this training as valuable as possible for you. I hope you were able to get something out of this video so that you can go ahead and make a decision on what you want to do with this business now that you understand the process a little bit more. And that's pretty much it, everything in a nutshell. And I hope you guys have a great day.